Okay, so again, this is what I'm expecting in 2 weeks. So if you look at the file, you see some shadows here, and the shadows are there for a reason, to show you that he's kind of floating. So I'm gonna. Is anybody using this environment? This one is, I believe, because I noticed as I'm building this, I noticed a couple of problems that I want to point out. Is anybody using Dark City? No? Okay, so you don't have to worry about it too much. I'm just gonna hide it. Where is Dark City? This one. Okay, and it's gonna be easier to work with. So the real problem is, if you look, so as you can see, it's a little bit laggy. If I hide the control rig, it becomes fine. Hey, what happened to my lights? But I'm just gonna reopen it. Yeah, that set for some reason bugs out. So if you're not using it, it's fine. If you are using it, and you get it, if you try to hide the set, uh, you will get this pop-up. Click no never. What happened? Okay, so no never works. Okay, try that. I haven't tried the no never, so don't worry too much about it for now. I don't think anybody's using it. It doesn't show the shadows here. Why? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just gonna see which ones are, which camera is animated. This one. Oh, they're both animated. Okay. So strange. Why is the shadows present in this one but not this one? Anyway, doesn't matter. So if you can look here close, you can see you can see a little gap between his feet and the shadows. This is the reason is because I'm gonna go right view, is because he's floating. Okay, so obviously before you put all the motion outside of story mode, it's best you fix this inside story, because it's as simple as taking all the clips, move, and just bringing down those clips. Make sure this guy is on. Okay, so when you do this, his feet are flush with the ground, and we put back the environment. It's much better, right? So I'm gonna try to undo. Okay, I'm gonna show it again. I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna move him on a planted foot, so something like this. Okay, so we look at the difference. Oh no, am I moving the camera? Sorry guys, just give me a second, because I think I'm moving the camera as well. Okay, so planted foot. Okay, so planted foot is here. So if you look now, is properly planted. So the difference is, see, there's no gap anymore. So please try to fix that in story mode, because it's as easy as moving it like this, just taking all the clips and moving it down. Obviously, maybe you don't have to do it for all of them. Maybe just for the running part, because here you don't see his feet, so maybe you don't have to do it for certain clips. But for clips where you see his feet on the, he's actually running or walking, fix that kind of stuff in story mode. I think the alien is okay. I'm just gonna, he looks like he's floating a bit on the jump. I'm gonna see, no, he's okay. But for some reason, he looks like he's floating. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because of the light position in the scene. Okay, so after that, we just verify everything is still good. Yeah, looks okay. So now we're ready to export all these clips and put them on the control rig outside of story mode to start editing. Okay, so again, this is the step in 2 weeks from now. So I updated the, by the way, the dates on the Moodle page. Okay, weird. These links have been the course outline and the assignments and everything have been updated with the dates. By the way, they still reflect what the, on the Dawson page, the academic calendar, they still have it last day. Oh no, sorry. I think they still have the last day as the 12th. The last day is the 12th. But tentatively, I put it at 20, just following the weeks that we currently are working with. I don't know if this is going to change or what, but I'll keep you posted if I hear something. But technically, if you check the Dawson website, the last day is still the May 12th. So I don't know if they're going to push it or not. I have no idea. We'll adjust as we go along. Okay, so in 2 weeks, once we get to this April 29, this is the expectation for that week. So the process is, once you finish and finally you get my comments in Moodle about your story mode part, we're now ready to bake everything outside. So the way to do it is you pick each character, you switch to Pepe, you make sure you're on full body, and you plot selected. Okay. And now do the same for the other guy. Select the body piece, full body, animation, plot selected. Okay. So now if we turn off story mode, everything should be running as it was in story mode. Okay. So what we just did is we copied all those clips, all those keyframes onto the control rig, because previously there was nothing there. So now we're ready to start editing. You know, like example, fixing. So what I'm looking for, again, I will post this once we're there. I'll post this in the Moodle assignment. So what I'm looking for is good use of layers. All the motion is baked out. to the control rig. Just this is the step I just did. By baked is, it means plot. What I just did here, plot selected. Obviously cameras is final. Cameras should be final actually here in the week before, but if you have minor tweaks, we need to do it in this week. So no mitten fingers. So the example is this stuff. See, the hands are like you have a mitten glove on your finger. So I'm gonna grade you on this because it's as simple, I'll show you in a minute, it's as simple as just creating a pose, a natural pose on those fingers. I don't want to see these kind of poses on the fingers. It's very simple to fix. No major pops on the body. This example is something like this. You see here, there's a big pop. This is the transition between, I believe, it's transition between the run and the run stop or run to stand. So big pops like this. It's not a big pop actually. I've seen bigger pops than this, but ideally we should be fixing that kind of stuff because it just takes away from the immersion of the scene. If you're looking at something interesting on screen and you see this big pop and you say, "Oh man, what?" Like it's an easy fix again. We shouldn't it shouldn't be acceptable to put something like this on your final previs. So we should be fixing stuff like this. Even though it's a previs, we should try to fix all those big pops. So no major sliding feet. Again, you can hide sliding feet. If there's one or two shots, it's acceptable. It's not. I'm not gonna remove like 10% if you forget two shots with a bit of sliding feet. But if the sliding feet is across the board, it's unacceptable. It's not. You didn't pay attention to story and you didn't pay attention to the quality. So I'm gonna be looking for that. And this, I mean, it's something like this. It's a bit minor. It's only one shot. It's not a big deal. Everything else is pretty good. But I'm still gonna show you how to fix these couple of slides here, just in case you have a lot of them. You can also, for sliding feet, you can cheat it. You can just raise the camera or to hide the feet. If you have a lot of them in the scene, you could just do this and then problem solve. But frame it with something interesting. Don't go like a lot of negative space and the framing is off for the character. Frame it in something interesting. It's going to show that you framed it to hide an issue anyway. So try to hide it in a smart way. And the last one is, somebody asked about this today, feet penetration or arm penetration. Example of this is here at the end, I believe. When he goes, when he gets the nut shot, yeah, there's some penetration. You don't see it here, obviously, but I'll show you how to fix that kind of stuff on a layer today. Okay, so I'll show you one thing at a time, and just go through them. So the stuff you can fix without a layer, like the fingers and the jerks and the sliding feet. These three things you can fix outside of a layer. What I mean is outside of a layer is right now, if you remember, this is the layer section. Everything is baked, or all the keys per character are on the base animation. So stuff like mitten fingers, you can actually fix this on the base layer, because what I'm looking for from you is just one pose, unless there's some interaction with the prop. Okay, if there's a close-up of, let's say, a hand grabbing a cup and then drinking or something, ideally you should have a couple of poses. Okay, but if there's no interaction with props or anything like that, you could just have one pose. If there's a close-up again of the fingers, maybe there's a stress moment, he's like stressed, you should, and you only see the hands and fingers on screen, and the hands are like in a natural pose, it's not gonna give the intent. So ideally you should maybe do a couple of poses like he's stressed or something. If you can sell it with the body and you have to sell it with the fingers, that information should be there as well. But for this case, I'm going to show you how to fix these fingers. I'm just going to hide the city because I don't need it anymore, so I can work easily. And I'm going to go with one viewport. So see, again, the screen is a little bit off, so I'm going to go to the first frame, select all the control for Pepe, and zoom in. Actually, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to switch to perspective. Yeah, so I can rotate. How come I don't see the floor? Oh, maybe I killed it. Okay, doesn't matter. Just want to see quickly something. Cameras. Yeah, I think I killed it. Doesn't matter. Okay, producer perspective, Pepe. Okay, so as you can see here, there's so first thing, when we want to fix the fingers, we need to switch to body part. It's only water. We need to switch to body part because what we're going to do is we're going to delete all those keys on the finger. Remember when we talked about body parts? So the fingers is a body part. There's a key right now on each finger. Okay, so if I delete one key in body part, if I delete one key, it's deleted on all the other fingers. See, and Pepe mesh. So now if I select this finger and this finger, there's no key, see? So when you delete a key, you're deleting a key on all the fingers. Same thing with the arms, same thing with the head, the spine, and each leg. So what I want to do is switch to body part, select one finger, and delete all the keys. So now there's no keys on those fingers. Another quick way to do it, let's say you have, in my case it's only 200 frames, but in some of your cases it's going to be like around 2000 because it's a 1 minute film. Okay, so if you don't want to do this, like zoom in, select keys and delete, the shortcut to this, please make sure you're in body part. Okay, the shortcut is you go in animation, body part, you select the finger, one of the fingers, you go in animation and clear selected, the middle one. Okay, what that will do is it will delete every key on all your timeline. you have 2000 frames, it will delete the key on all of it. So that's the quickest way. You can do it on multiple. So you can do it on the left and the right. So you select one finger from the viewport, the other finger, and you go body part, animation, clear selected. So it's going to nuke all the keys on both. The reason is some of the mocap will have finger motion, some of it won't have. So I don't want you to like struggle with where are the keys and where are, this way you make sure that all the keys are nuked. Again, do this one pose if there's no interaction. If you have an interaction, I need to see a couple of poses just for the pickup. Okay, don't give me like I mean, it depends on the prop. If you have the neutral pose and it goes for a cup and it still works and there's minor penetration with the cup, it's acceptable. But I'm not. Please don't put like the fingers. You know, the fingers should not be inside the cup, kind of deal, right? So if it's like this and there's minor penetration, it's okay. So now I'm ready to pose those fingers because I just deleted all the keys, all the bad keys. So the quickest way to do this is, if you guys remember, so what we have here is rotate. I like to rotate the fingers on local because if you rotate in global, you will rotate in a weird axis. Actually, it's not that bad, but I prefer local because look at the difference. Look at the way the axis, the pivot is the axis. You're rotating kind of on this axis, while if you switch to local, you rotate on sort of an axis parallel to the finger, okay? So you rotate like this, all three. Don't select the thumb because it has a different axis. You can pose it like this, press a key, still on body part. Now choose the thumb. Yeah, you shouldn't rotate it in this axis because it's gonna break it. What I would do is I switch to translation. Oof, the bones on this is really bad. Yeah, it's really inverted. So if yeah, this character is a bit special. It's not a Mixamo rig, so it has some weird weird rotations on the fingers. So what I would do is just select those things are the FK. So I'm gonna hide the IK. Yeah, you can hide the IK rig temporarily by doing this. So now you only see the FK bones. If you select rotate, now you can rotate the FK joints. Shortcut to go down the chain is Alt, down or up, or you could just select it. Yeah, it's a weird looking. Is it because? Oh man, it's a weird thumb. Well, it's a cartoony character, anyways. Doesn't matter. So we'll fix the arm on a layer afterwards. So let's say we're happy with the pose. It's more natural than the mitten gloves. So we're happy with this. So this pose is gonna carry out. If I switch back to camera switcher, it's gonna be carried out on all the motion. See, because we did it on the base layer, so it's gonna be on all the keys basically. It just has one key. It just has one key on that body part. So sorry. So now if you wanna copy paste this pose on the other one, if you remember I showed you this a while ago. If you go in pose control, you create this, you select the fingers. You just actually it doesn't matter, because when you create a pose it's a full body, so it doesn't really matter what you select. You create a pose. I'm gonna call this finger pose, whatever, doesn't matter, just for reference. And I want to copy it on the other hand, on the other fingers. The way to do this is through mirroring. In pose control there's a mirroring option. So you just need to select the other finger, select mirroring, make sure you're in body part, because if not it will copy the whole body mirrored, and then double click on it. Okay, so technically, and then press K or S if you're using Maya. So technically you only have to create one pose. If you don't have any interaction with props or anything, he's just moving around. This is how to fix the fingers. Again, it's going to be carried out on all the motion. So this is the fingers. Now the body jerks. I'm just going to highlight it to know that it's done. So major jerks on the body. Example, like I said, once we get to the run stop, you can see a little bit of pop, because there's a little difference between the run and the run stop. So what happens is he goes down on one frame, because the motion was not exactly the same. Okay, I'm just gonna put on the grid in perspective so we can see a little bit of where he's stepping. Okay. Actually, yeah, I forgot to do this originally. So you can either create let's say polish 3 just as a backup. Either create another file once you start editing, or just duplicate the take. Because if something goes wrong, let's say with this take, you have a take backup. Okay, I should have done this in the beginning, but always remember, I told you this a couple of times, create backups. Either create another FBX 03 or 04, whatever you are, or create a take once you start editing, that kind of stuff. Okay, so here, where is it? So it's a good idea to keep your story, because you know kind of where the transitions are going to happen in reference to the story clips. So I know exactly that, okay, this is the transition between the run and the run stop. So it's a good idea to keep them, even though they're not active. It's still a good reference for you to keep them. Okay, so again, this is the big pop we need to fix. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch to full body, because I want to delete a couple of keys on all the body to fix that big pop. Okay, so this pose is okay, this pose is bad, so I'm going to delete it. And let's see if that transition is a little bit better. Oh, I was skipping. Oh, okay, now it's good. So I was skipping to the next frame. So it's not that bad actually. Uh, is it? I might delete this one too, just to get it a little bit smoother. So if you wanna, you can actually, a little trick too here. You can just zoom in on that section where you want to smooth it out. So let's say from 32 to 76, and you can just focus kind of on this segment just to get that smooth, right? So it's just instead of playing the whole thing again, just focus on those frames. You can still see a little pop. This for my frame. If you guys want to see your frame it, is Shift F to know if you're getting a good frame rate. It's not that bad. 39, 40. So it's still poppy a little bit, okay? So what we can do here is maybe delete this key. So let's see, it might smooth it out a little bit more. See, now it's a little bit better. Maybe this one. So it kind of, the curves are, I'm gonna show you what the curves look like. Actually, it's a good idea. So if I select the pelvis, so again, the pelvis is the main driver kind of in the whole, on the whole body. If your pelvis has pops, all the body is gonna shift, right? So if the curve is good on the pelvis, you're in a good place. Okay. So if I select the pelvis and turn on this curve, you will see how smooth that transition is becoming. Um, if we switch back to the other take, see that we fixed that pop by deleting a couple of keys. This is the original one. This is the one we just fixed. So see, this is another good way to compare. It's kind of, did we switch to a good one? Yeah. So it's kind of flat. It's kind of jaggedy here. Let's see if we can fix it. If we delete this one, let's see, you will see the curve hopefully update. Yes, so see, by deleting this one, we kind of, the curve is adjusted, it adjusts itself because it's in auto mode. The interpolation is in auto. So you can kind of see it interpolating way better between those two frames, just because we deleted that key. Okay. Yeah, from top view is much better as well. We can try to smooth this one out if we maybe delete this one or this one. So if I go here, obviously we can't delete this one, so we'll need to try to delete this one. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So let's play it back, deselect. I think I'm getting some lag, but I believe it's much better than before. If I try to play the other one, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. Anyways, that's how you delete. You take care of deleting all those big jerks. So again, this was a minor jerk. If you have bigger ones, you need to fix. I would try to fix it on the base layer on another take. I'll show you one more thing, which is the sliding feet, and then I'll show you the layer stuff after a break. I'm sure everyone could use a bathroom break right now. Okay, so sliding feet. So what happened is when we started deleting those keys, or even let's see here. This one's not bad. It's probably worse on that transition. Let me see. Yeah, see here, it kind of slides. This pose on this feet should be planted all the way through here. So there's no reason for it to slide. Okay. It slides for two reasons. It slides because of this transition, and it slides because we deleted a bunch of keys. Again, you can hide if there's one or two shots like this in your scene. I'm gonna not comment on it too much. But if you have like 10 shots like this, you might lose some points. So either fix it the way I'm going to show you right now, or you could maybe just tilt the camera up to hide the sliding. I'll leave it up to you, whatever works for you. It's not, as long as the audience or whoever's looking at it doesn't see it. We need to keep the audience immersed. So I'm going to show you how to fix one foot. So this foot probably. So we want the foot to be planted here, like this contact. Okay. So what do we do is, so obviously here it's in passing, kind of going to the contact. So I'm going to try to put on this frame the contact pose. Okay. Before we do this, just make sure that your feet have IK. What IK, if you guys remember, is this icon, the circle, has to be green. This foot is okay, it's already an IK, but this one for some reason is not. So if you're editing feet, let's say you have to edit this one. I'm not going to edit this one for this exercise. Just make sure that it's all green like this, okay? Because if you start editing without IK, it's going to even slide more. So make sure that both feet are green. Make sure that both feet are green regardless. Always make sure that the feet are green, because most of the time they're walking or running or there's contacts with the floor. So you want that IK. Okay, so the way to fix this, so like I said, I want the contact of the foot to be the same as this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that key. Sorry, make sure you're in body part, because now we finished deleting those bad keys on the full body. By the way, I switched to full body just to smooth out the motion on all the body. It doesn't mean you cannot delete keys on body part. Let's say all the motion is fine, but the arms are twitching. You could just delete the keys on the arms. So you switch to body part and you delete the keys on the arms. Okay. You don't need necessarily to delete always the keys on full body. You have to go case by case. Okay. I hope it's not confusing too much. Okay, back to this. So contact. I'm gonna copy this key. Copy. Go back here and paste. That's all. So now this key and this key is the same. Okay, see, it's as simple as that. It works because we're in IK. If we weren't in IK, the circle wasn't green, it would have slid even more. But when we did this, the interpolation is still weird. So the reason for this is because the interpolation between this key and this key is is auto. What auto means, if we select those two keys and we go in the F curve and we go in translation, press F. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom in on here. So those two keys, it's right here between these two. I don't think I can zoom in on, okay, X, Y, Z. So the tangents, or the type of keys we have, is Bezier or auto, should I go smooth. So we can easily fix these, this interpolation by two ways. You can select those two keys, right-clicking on one of them, interpolation, linear. Now it doesn't slide. Or if you like using the F curves, you select those two keys and you select this guy, linear tangent. It's the same step, actually the same result. If you don't like using the F curves, just do it in here. I'm old school, so I don't like to jump between tabs too much, so this is a better option for me. So now we fix the interpolation. Okay, so we remove the slide. If we compare to the previous one, super slidey, super bumpy, right? You can even, if you like it to plant earlier, which I feel it can handle, you can take this key and move it backwards. Bad idea, because what happens is the leg now is super hyper extended. So it was worth a shot, but I'm just gonna undo this. Okay, so that's how you fix sliding feet. How does everybody feel? I mean, I can run through these two maybe in half an hour. How does everybody want a bathroom break? What's the consensus? You guys want me to finish by 5 or break now? Sorry, I didn't hear your response.
Hmm?
Yeah. Is everybody good till 5, or should we break now? Okay. Excellent. Okay, so we'll continue. So that's it for fixing feet. So layers and penetration. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to the first step. So these kind of fixes we just did is a good idea to do it on the base layer, because it's hard. And obviously do that first, because you don't want to keep switching between a layer and a base layer. Do those things we just did, the fingers, the pops, and the sliding feet, do that on the base layer, so you kind of get rid of it on the base. Not to get rid of it, is kind of, you do it before starting to work on layers, because it's part of a good base animation layer to start with. It's a good base to start fixing these three things. Because if you can, I mean, you can do it later, but then you're going to be struggling with fixes on the layer and fixing these things. So kind of do it, I guess, in layers. So you start working with the base layer, fixing these three things, and then you go in and fix the penetration, fix, let's say there's interaction with the props or anything like that. Okay, so So Pepe here is obviously his arms and fingers are penetrating his legs. And it's not just one shot, it's throughout the shot. So obviously I'm gonna fix this by creating a layer. And the best way to fix this, obviously there's a lot of space. So between, I mean, his arms are in a good location. It's just his hands are penetrating. So what we can easily do is make sure you're in body part, because you just want to fix the hands or the arms. Just want to put a key on the arms. And just try to fix this kind of with minimal translation, but more rotation. Okay. I like to use this. Just want to double check if it's still recording. Yeah. I like to use this, the yellow gizmo. The difference is it's not, it's different than these, because these are X, Y, you know, they're separated. The yellow one is actually screen space. So whatever it's always parallel to the screen, see? So you can kind of work with it while facing the good, I don't know how to explain it. It's like always parallel to what you're looking at. So if I fix it like this, you're actually moving in 2 axes, or actually 3 axes, but it's kind of what the camera is looking at. I don't know if I explained it properly, but I hope you get the point. So I think it's not bad. So now, since you have a layer, you can see what the base layer look like by just muting. So much better. Always look at it with motion. Once you fix it, look at it with motion. Right? So he's probably, oh, it's not bad. Okay. So you kind of see, you kind of fixed it on multiple frames by just adding it doesn't take much to fix arms, right? If you do a good job on the first frame, you should be okay on the rest. So, but always, once you put a key, always check what the kind of the previous keys look like and the next keys look like, because it might have an effect. Okay, I'm gonna fix the other arm on a bad frame. I'm just gonna put the layer back on. So it's probably, yeah, so it's probably bad in here on the passing. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't recommend using the pose, because during motion the arms are different. So I would try to fix it on the current frame. So same kind of deal, rotation, and then position, and just bring out the arm a little bit. Again, don't go too far with the position, because he's gonna look like he's walking like this. So a little bit of both, a little bit of translation, a little bit of rotation should fix the problem. See, I didn't take it too far. So I'm gonna check in the camera switcher, Control I, camera switcher, how everything looks. Oh, nice, it looks good. Just gonna compare it again. See, all the arms are penetrating. And now, so here, this is interesting. So I think we're probably penetrating here. I'm just gonna switch back to perspective. Select Pepe, press F. So because we put those keys, we put those keys in here. It actually put an offset, right, on all the motion for Pepe. So if you guys remember a while ago, I showed you how to fix this is by pressing this little button here, the 0 key. So what this 0 key does, it actually puts the same information that was on the base layer, puts it on this layer. Okay, I'll show you quickly how to do it. So obviously up to here, the arms are fine. So what I want to keep, I want to keep this. I want to keep these keys. So what I do is I just put a key here on both arms. Okay. But once he gets up to here and the arms are penetrating because of our offset or our fix that we did for the running, and if I mute, I look at the base layer, it's fine. I would just press this little guy. Okay, so now the information on the arms is the same as the base layer. Okay, see, I'm muting and they're the same. While before they have that offset. Okay, so this is how you key on a layer. You apply the adjustment, but you still have to pay attention to potential problems. And if you switch back to the base layer and you see that everything is fine, just press that 0 key and it will kind of take those keys on the base layer and put it on your layer. I'm not sure if it's clear. I hope it's pretty universal. Like everything, all the 3D animation software have that kind of that layer system. It's pretty universal. So we fixed the penetration. Now everything else is fine on the arms. Okay. Same principle. If you, let's say you want to fix Gaunt here. Actually, let's fix him as well. Super quick. It's the same idea. Actually, his fingers too are messed up. So I can fix that by just going back on the base layer, selecting both fingers, and make sure on body part, clear. So now if I go to the first frame, I could just create. Sometimes you can copy paste from other characters the same pose. So I'm gonna try that to see if it works. No, it's very ugly. It's okay. Anyways, it only takes a couple of minutes. All right, can make it. Oops. Maybe make it a little bit like monster-ish, so he feels like he's a monster. So here, yeah, see the thumb on this one is way better than Pepe. The stuff from Mixamo, when you download stuff from Mixamo, should be pretty good. So you shouldn't get the bad fingers like the one from Pepe. So finger pose, or Gaunt finger pose, just for my sanity to remember everything. Turn on mirror, boom, fix it. Now go back to layer, and I want to fix the part where he gets hit on the groin. I want his arms, say, to be where he gets hit, okay? So obviously here, boom. So the arms here are fine. There's some penetration, but it's okay. So he's gonna catch his groin here. So I'm just gonna take this pose. Whoops. Interesting. Are we? Oh, maybe because it's local. I'm gonna switch to global. So the axis that you're on sometimes, no. What's going on? Is it one axis? Or maybe I have something else selected. No. Is it the same thing with this? Yeah, it's popping for some reason. Weird. I'm try to fix it. Okay. Okay, so if you, it's a good problem to have to show you guys. So if you're getting problems like this, the character was popping when you move. It's weird it doesn't happen on Pepe, but anyways, I kind of fixed it with this. So if you're getting problems like this, I'm gonna switch it back if you guys missed it. It's popping to another place as soon as you move it. A potential fix, if you go in Navigator and go in the characters section and go in the character that you have problems with, double click on Gaunt, and it should be the third option, actually second option. If you see HIK 2016 solver, just switch it to MB character solver. Now if you move it, everything should be good. Try the other arm. Yeah. It's just it's a type of control rig. These are types of control rigs, types of solvers on the control rig. This one is the first one they did, so it's probably the less buggy. And these ones are, you know, every year they added stuff to it or they fixed stuff to it. So switch back to the older version, which is this one. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and you know, he's protecting his jewels, if you want to call it. And oops. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as I'm gonna keep on. I haven't saved in a while, so don't do like me. Save. So you get a little option here. Save. Okay, so yeah, he has long fingers. Anyways, you get the idea. So now everything before that is fine because we put a key to, or zero key. And now here, oh, he gets hit on the groin. Poor guy. Yeah, and he goes down and flips. I think, let me see, maybe on the flip, what did it look like? It's not that bad. I mean, maybe you want to zero out. So, up until, yeah, maybe here. You can push it a little bit further in. And then as he's falling down, maybe we can zero out here to go back to normal. Okay. Yeah. Do the other arm super quick. So you can use the other arm as reference where you put the key, right? So if I select both, I key, 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 key. Now I select this one. It's just a quick way to align the other arm to the keys of the other arm, the first arm we keyed. Because I think they're moving at the same time. Yeah, so it's fine. We just move in this one closer. Okay, and then we bring it down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And then we go here. And you can you can try copy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can try to copy this key over to this. Yeah, it does get it closer, but not perfectly. What this saves you sometimes, because what you're copying here, you're copying the same offsets, okay? So you're copying the offsets from here to here. So sometimes it works, depends on the movement. Sometimes it works and you don't have to do anything. Let's see what it looks like. And then, yeah, I think this is already a zero key. It's already penetrating a little bit, but it's not that bad. Again, let's look at it in Switcher. Nice. And we compare. See the difference? It's a huge difference. It adds it adds to the ouch impact. Okay, so I'm gonna fix one more thing, and then I open the floor for questions if you guys, or we can break early since we didn't take a break. So if you notice here, I'm just gonna zoom in on the problem. Zoom in on those keys. And, oh, okay. That kick we see is very jangy, right? So if I go to Pepe, select his hips, and look at the curve, look at how noisy or irregular that curve is. So here it shouldn't. These little points on the curve here are the keys. So if I go back, see, it goes very linearly up. It shouldn't be that that linear. And here all these it should be like super smooth, like a nice curve here. It goes up, and then here it should be another nice curve going down. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to fix that in the curve editor, right? Because I mean, you can fix it here by deleting a bunch of keys. Same thing. We can go back to the base layer and fix it, but we don't need to actually delete all the body, because see, the arms are nice, the spine is nice, the legs are good. It's just the hips. Um, it has to be better. Actually, I'll do a combination. I'll do a combination of deleting keys and fixing the stuff in the F curve, okay? So first part is this. I want to edit this. So I'm going to go back in here. And what is it skipping? So we're good up to here. See? And then boom, it pops. So I need to delete this key and maybe this key. Okay. Just to try to make it a little bit smoother, I'm going to delete this key like I did with the feet previously. So see, it's starting to to curve a little bit better. I'm going to try this one too. See what that looks like. It's already much better. So he goes up and down. Maybe we don't need this key as well. Okay. So see, the difference here is I'm not deleting a key on all the body. I'm just deleting a key on the hips to make him go up smoother. Okay, everything else is fine. His anticipation on the arms, his spine. I mean, the spine could be better. He could be crouching down more to jump up that high. We can try to fix that before 5 if we still have time. But the major part is fixing fixing the hips. Even from top view is better. There is a spike here, I just noticed. So I can try to delete this one and maybe this one. Yeah. So I think it's good in the beginning. We fixed. So I'm going to try to fix this part in the F curve. You can continue doing the same thing, just deleting a bunch of keys to smoothen this out. But I'll show you another technique if you prefer the F curves. So it's mostly, I believe, this part here. Okay. So I'm gonna zoom in. Zoom in. Select one axis at a time if you're working with just one window, one screen, and you're gonna see all the problems. So X is not that bad. We can flatten the curve on this one. Can't believe I'm using COVID-19 lingo. Let's see the Y. I think the Y is the problematic one. Yes. So again, it's around here. So this is the biggest problem. So we want to delete this. It will actually update. See, it updates in the viewport. I'm actually gonna do something drastic here. I'm gonna even clean up this whole curve to be nice and smooth. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. This is probably the highest point, and just delete these ones. So and now fix the tangents so that they're a lot smoother. Just a nice little curve. Okay, so now if you look at the trajectory in the viewport, way, way, way better. Okay, and see the Z. The Z's pretty good. The Z is this one. That's it. Oh, there's a little, aha. See, this is bad. That's probably the X. Let me see. If we switch to position, actually, yeah. Is it? Hold on a second. No, it's local. It's local. So this actually you might be able to fix on the layer. Let's see here. Okay, see, I don't see it on the curve. Unless if I try to delete it. Is it local or global? See, that's part of why I don't like the F-curves that much, because it says here global, but it's actually, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think this is the curve. Let me see if I go, yeah, this is it. So it's a bit confusing. It says here local, but it's the Z, which is the global axis. So just be careful if you want to work with the F-curve. Just be careful with local and global. The F-curve is kind of a class on its own. I'm not gonna go into it that much, but just because if you want to use the F-curve, just be careful with it. So if you want to fix something like this big pop here, so obviously, where is the contact? So it's in here. So you want to keep the body going on the same Z axis as this one, because this is the contact, right? So any big dips before that, you're gonna see it, right? So I would smooth that out as much as possible. So if you try to delete maybe a couple of keys here, let's see what happens. Yeah, it kind of works. I would just raise this one a little bit up. And delete these ones just to smooth it out a little bit. So now you look at the trajectory. It's way smoother. Okay. And we go back to camera switcher. And we look at that section. It's a lot smoother. Now we look at the big picture with the environment. I mean, it's not big noticeable change, but if we compare it to the first one, it's all about the details, right? Some people are good with detail. They're gonna tell you all these problems. They're gonna pick it, but it's the kind of stuff we should be fixing after we're done the story mode. Okay. I'm gonna stop right. I think we covered most of it. So fingers, body jerks, sliding feet, arm penetration, and working with layers and F-curves a little bit. Again, this is not for next week. This is starting on April 29 in 2 weeks. So the assignment for next week, next Wednesday, is this. I'm gonna post it after the class. And then we have 1 more week to finalize everything in story mode. And then this stuff happens after, starting April 29. Okie doke. Question, commentaire? Yes. Who's first? Yeah. Yeah? Each